going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort. And China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
Sorry, independence and away from interdependence. That was one of the, I would say, the negative sides of what we saw with COVID. But on the flip side, you look at the reaction of the world in terms of working together to solve COVID, which happened through innovation. The innovation revolution that happened in life sciences, in the development of vaccines, in creating these supply chains to solve this global problem. That wouldn't have happened without actually interdependence. It wouldn't have happened without cooperation. So you can see that ultimately, you know, again, I'm advocating here for globalization. The solution in globalization, the solution in collaboration and in working together towards innovation is a better solution. It's a better solution. Now, having said that, we've started down the road of that disruption of that supply chain that has led to, I think, a transition that is happening, that this current crisis is only exacerbating and moving towards what Larry is describing. I don't think Larry is saying that globalization is over. But I think what he is saying, and what I do agree with, is you're seeing the creation of a new world order. And that is playing itself out. And that creation of this new world order has ramifications on supply chains, which is really at the core of this, on currency movement, on reserve currencies, on how we look at crypto and digital exchanges and digital currency, and how that's going to play its way into trade. At the end of the day, we are in the UAE, and the UAE is built on essentially connectivity. It's built on trade forever. We trade with East, West, North, South. That's what made the UAE and will continue to make the UAE a successful and vibrant economy. In this new world order that's developing, we in the UAE will find our place to continue to grow, to continue to evolve, to continue to be able to trade East, West, North, South, North America, East Asia, North Asia, etc. And figure out also at the same time how we're going to manage through this transition that's happening across the board, from supply chains to currency, and how we can maximize making the UAE an attractive location to be able to...
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, you know, I come back with that video just to make you think. And we are 2 days from one of the biggest events in crypto. Miami's event is going to bring over 50,000 attendees. You're talking about adoption. This is the way you move adoption. And it's going to be in one of the best cities in the nightlife. And we know how powerful image is. If they see it, they will believe it. And we know how the New World Order works. Problem, reaction, solution. We see all the problems going on in America. They're just waiting on the reaction that they're going to run in with the solution. Robots, algorithms, and drones that are going to be using these cryptos. We know crypto means hidden message, the hidden meaning. And these cryptos are for the robots. And the New World Order is ready to flip that switch. But we know first they have to create a crisis. We know it's going to be America versus China. America, the Babylon falls, and China, the dragon rises. The United States reserve currency gets replaced by the digital yuan, backed by the digital SDR. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the New World Order. It's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Francis Suarez. Mr. Mayor, it's great to see you, and congratulations to you on all the success that you are having in your leadership. Tell us about this conference and why crypto has been so important to you in terms of instituting it as part of the economy there in Miami.
Well, first of all, thank you. It's so important because it's part of our transitional brand from a city that was a great place to visit, a great place to retire, to what Financial Times called the most important city in America. And we've done it by keeping true to three simple rules. We've kept taxes as low as possible. We've increased funding for our police and kept our city safe, reducing homicides last year by 23% and this year by close to 40%, and leaning into innovation. And crypto is one of the ways that we've completely leaned into innovation to take away, this concept that there are other cities in America that are the technological hubs of our country. And so because of that, we've seen our venture capital increase by 200% year over year. And we've moved over $1 trillion in assets under management companies to the city in just 16 months. And the Bitcoin conference is the largest crypto conference in the world. We took that from Los Angeles here to Miami. We're going to have 50,000 attendees, and it's going to be an economic development boom for our city, creating thousands of jobs and millions of dollars in economic incentives for our city.
Yeah, that is just incredible. And you mentioned crime. Actually, crime is surging across the country. And Miami is actually seeing a decrease, as you just noted. Homicides down better than 59% year to date as Miami increases funding for the police. It's reportedly the lowest homicide rate since 1950s. And you are also taking more than just the crypto conference from Los Angeles. I was at a conference recently, an alternatives conference where you were at. You spoke there, and you were telling the attendees in the audience that you were competing one-to-one with Silicon Valley and that you were going to see more and more money and people and businesses move to Miami from Silicon Valley. Give us an update on that, Mr. Mayor. Where are you in terms of attracting more business and high tech in particular to originate and put their headquarters in Miami?
Well, like I mentioned, it's been a phenomenal success story. As people realize that people are, aggregating here in Miami, they're colliding here in Miami, and that we now have critical mass, what we're seeing is a 200% increase in venture capital deals completed. If we were to continue to grow at that rate, 200% a year for 2 more years, and it was a zero-sum game, which means that our gain was San Francisco's loss, we would overtake San Francisco in 2 years as the venture capital of America. And in terms of private equity, like I said, we've moved over $1 trillion in assets under management companies. Blackstone is increasing by 400% in full-time employees here in Miami. McKinsey, which is a consulting company that's global, is increasing by 400%. Microsoft just took an extra 50,000 square feet in Miami. Apple's looking at expanding its footprint. Amazon just took a tremendous amount of space here in Miami, as we've seen other cities across America push Amazon out, like New York and Seattle. And so, Miami, which is fundamentally free market, particularly because a lot of Hispanics have fled communist dictatorships across the world, is creating a counter-narrative to what's happening in a lot of American cities.
Yeah. Real quick before you go, Mayor, do you worry that some of these people who are going to Miami and uprooting and leaving California, leaving New York, bringing their businesses to Miami because of all of the great economics, like the taxes there, no taxes there in terms of income tax, are you worried that they're going to vote the way they voted where they were? They're going to vote Democrat, and they're going to basically bring in the policies that you are avoiding?
Well, there's 2 reasons why I don't worry. The first is, for the first time in recorded history of the state of Florida, there's actually more Republicans than Democrats and independents in the state of Florida. So that's the first time that's ever happened in Florida. And so what that means to me is the people that are coming here are either Republican or they're changing parties to become Republican. I think the second part is the people that are leaving their cities are traumatized. They're traumatized, like people who left Cuba. They're traumatized. And so they're coming to this country to flee the policies, of their home cities in their home state. And so I can't imagine that they would want to flee those policies and then come to a place to try to, sort of reinvent those policies here. So that's what we're banking on, and we're hoping that this creates a generation worth of prosperity, because we're not just competing against cities across America, we're competing against cities across the world. I can tell you the Middle East is looking at what we're doing in Miami. They have a vision for their future. Obviously, we're seeing what's happening, unfortunately, in Ukraine. So the world is in an unsettled position, and I think Miami right now is being seen across the world as a success story.
Most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.